What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You're here with Guni and special guest Zar. You may recognize him from back again. One of the now trio of troops, myself and Zar. In fact, I should put myself last. I'm the newcomer. Apologies, Zar. Troops,
Not even.
Zar and Guni on the back again. But yeah, we're here to discuss Arsenal's first 3 points of the Premier League season. 1-0 versus Norwich. Obviously, you must be buzzing about that. It's never a bad time to get 3 points on the board. So, yeah, talk me through, man. How do you think you lot played overall? Did you see any positives going forward into this season that gave you a bit of confidence? Like perhaps, maybe, going forward, we might not do as badly as we thought.
So, well, first of all, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure hopping on here. Really appreciate you having me on. How did I feel about the performance? Well, first things first, very happy about winning. So happy about the result, getting the 3 points. That's the most important part, getting the 3 points and taking those home. How did I feel about the performance? I thought we didn't play well at all. I went back and so initially when I watched it, because of the euphoria of not having won and all that, I was happy with what was going on. Went back the next day after I'd calmed down a little bit and watched it and noticed that, we were absolutely not up to par whatsoever. Physically, I was okay with how we did. I think we gave it our all. Tomiyasu was up and down, running up and down. Our central midfield was running up and down. Auba Motm pressing up front. So everyone chipped in physically. Mentally, we really didn't get tested. Norwich didn't have that much quality. They didn't create that many chances. They didn't really put us under the pressure to test us enough mentally and really put a squeeze on our defense. So physically happy, mentally not really. Nothing was really proven. Technically, I think that's where we were very, very, very poor. So we controlled the game. We controlled possession. We controlled the game in the middle, but in the final third, technically, we were just awful. So, like, for example, I think there was a time when Pepe 3 times in a row, when we tried to give him the ball in the final third, he just fucked up the first touch completely. So silly things like that, picking the wrong pass. Our finishing was off. Aubameyang had a chance where he fired just after it. I think was it just after or before it scored the goal where he shot the ball straight at the keeper, type of stuff. Pepe was missing and all that. Lokonga had a hit too that went straight at the keeper, and all Saka tried here and there, but it was really poor in the final third. So overall, happy about the physical side of the game. Mentally, nothing really. Technically, not really satisfied because our final third play was awful. And then on the manager, I think he did his part. I think he picked the lineup. He picked a good lineup. He picked he set us up pretty well, and I think he did his part decently. He was just let down by the lack of quality and lack of execution in the final third. And also very impressed by, impressed by how Ben White did. He looked very good on the ball. Wasn't really tested physically. Both him and Gabriel looked very calm back there, steady on the ball. He was starting a lot of the attacks. His passing was great, and yeah, Tierney too was very good up and down that left flank. So overall, happy with the result. Performance, I'm hoping can get better. But, we want to build off the confidence of just getting the 3 points.
Absolutely. I didn't watch the full game. I was watching the Man United game while that was going on. Obviously, the football fan in me wanted to see the return of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame anyone. No one, a neutrals should not have been watching in that 10 o'clock time slot. Every single there's no one. You shouldn't have been, as a neutral, you shouldn't have been watching any other game but the United one.
Yeah, because listen, although me being a Chelsea fan, like, I'm old enough and lucky enough to remember when Cristiano Ronaldo first stepped into the Premier League. So I think for football fans, especially of that era that can sort of remember his first few appearances in the Premier League, it was just a bit of nostalgia to watch. And obviously he delivered the way he did. But obviously we're here to talk about Arsenal. You did mention Kieran Tierney. I didn't see much. Like, I saw a few of the highlights of his, and there was just one piece of defending, right? and the way he transitioned it into the attack, just
Yeah,
I
I know
thought was
exactly what you're talking.
absolutely
The Aubameyang
fantastic.
chant.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because at first, right, on first look, I thought like he was just hoofing it aimlessly just to get the
Mm-hmm.
ball out, just to get it out of danger. But the weight on that ball, and then if you saw the way Aubameyang
Perfect.
checked his run, the way he
Yep.
just span him and just
With the
got onto it,
cross.
it
Boom.
was good stuff. So you could see like the confidence is starting to flow with Kieran Tierney, because it helps to have defenders like Gabriel and Ben White who can actually defend. So basically, you've got a partnership you can trust next to you. But Tomiyasu, obviously your new signing from Syria, I heard good things about him. How was he? How was he during the game? Were you impressed by him, by what you saw?
So I'm one of those cats that when we bought him, I knew nothing about him whatsoever. I'll put my hand up when we signed him. I was like, all right, what are we doing? I would have rather signed someone that I knew. And I thought at the time, all right, maybe we messed this up, but based off that one performance, it looks like a good signing. I mean, he has good energy. He was up and down, up and down the whole game, up and down that right flank the whole game. He looked good in the air. He looked good on the ball. He had a chance where he hit some fucking acrobatic kick off the thing that almost went in actually. The only one negative part that he was involved in that I can recall off the top of my head was actually that move at the beginning of that move where Tierney got it to go past. It was Tomiyasu that was spun. He was spun on that right flank, and the guy hit the ball across the box, went straight across, and then Tierney picked it up and gave it to
Slapped it.
Aubameyang. So that was the only shaky period, only shaky part of the game that he was involved in that I can recall. But overall, I'm very, very impressed. He looks energetic. I'm very impressed by his energy and his enthusiasm, and hopefully he settles in very, very well, and expect big things from him. But overall, based off that one game, very excited and very happy about the signing.
From the people that I know that watch Serie A the way we watch the Premier League, a lot of them were saying that Arsenal were getting a very, very technical defender. Did you see a lot of that during the game? Was there evidence of that in him?
Yeah, he looked very good on the ball. He didn't miss. I don't recall him misplacing many passes or anything like that. That one attempt that I talked about, it was one of those. It was okay. I mean, let me not get too gassed or get too far ahead. But old Arsenal fans will know, reminisce. It kind of if it went in, it kind of would have reminded me of that Van Persie goal at Charlton. The Van Persie. Way back when. But I mean, it wasn't that good of a thing. But it was, that kind of level. Well, not that level, but that kind of acrobat stuff. But he looked good on the ball, man. He looked good technically. It was more his energy and work rate that impressed me the most. But definitely, he looked good on the ball.
What a goal that Van Persie one was. That was just insane. Even I got
Phenomenal
up off my
technique.
seat, like completely If you remember that, smash the like button, man. That's a legendary goal.
He went jumps in the crowd and
the celebration too. Yeah, the celebration too was mad. But another surprise face in the lineup, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And no, he wasn't playing right back because we just told you who the right back was. He was there in the midfield, partnering up with Lokonga. How did the young man look?
The Ainsley Maitland-Niles situations. First things first, let me just say that I thought that Ainsley Maitland-Niles' career at Arsenal was over. After he sent that Instagram story, I thought that he was done at Arsenal. We'll never see Ainsley Maitland-Niles at Arsenal. And in this group, and the part of this group, he's actually one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player. I bought his jersey last season. I love Ainsley a bit, so it would have hurt me to see him just be, blacked out and all that. So that being said, I would like to give credit to Arteta for being a bigger man. In a situation like that, a player is usually forced. When a player does something like that, a player is usually forced out the club. But I mean, I guess the transfer window's closed, so we'll have to wait and see if he'll be forced out. But we got to give Arteta credit for actually picking him right after he did something that he did. Did something like he did on Instagram. So shout out to Arteta. That being said, he looked stable. He looked decent. his work rate was good. His work rate was good in midfield. He made a few interceptions, cut out a few things. He was very busy in the middle of the park. First half, he was a little bit quiet in that central midfield area, in particular the first 15 minutes, I thought. Then we went quiet a little bit from the 30th going into halftime. But he came alive second half, and he looked phenomenal. And even in that first 15 period, he was good. He was popping in, he tried a couple times. He tried balls over the top that actually were very good balls over the top to Aubameyang, slipping people through, linking plays, disrupting play. So, I mean, for a guy that cried about playing central midfield and playing me in my favorite position and just kept being played in right back based off that performance that he had this past game against Norwich, he's, in my eyes, at least earned an opportunity to try again and show us what he actually has in that central midfield. So I was very happy with his performance overall. I think he was one of the brighter sparks out of the players that we had. Him, so I would say him, Pepe, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Aubameyang. That group of players had a good game.
Thomas Partey, how did he do for you guys?
Came off the bench. He was on the bench. He came on for Tomiyasu. Then Maitland-Niles went to right back. He came off and he looked good. He looked good. I mean, interception. He I think was the one that started that move that scored the goal. Actually, he did. He was the one that the ball came from Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe stole the ball. He gave it to Partey. Partey pushed it forward to Saka. Saka then gave it to Pepe. Pepe shot, hit the post, and all that. And Aubameyang scored. So, I mean, he came on second half and he played very well. He played decent. So, good to see him back. And he looked stable, too. He made good interceptions in midfield. Pinged a couple balls. Pepe, Partey, I'm excited for. We just need to keep him healthy, get him playing more regularly now.
So with Pepe looking, I mean, I saw some flashes of sharpness from Pepe. He looked like he enjoyed himself over there against Norwich. In fact, there were phases of attack. I'm going to be careful saying this because I didn't watch the full 90 minutes, but the phases of attack that I did see from you guys, they look sharp. They look like a bit, like the old Arsenal. The counter attacks they were quick, but then it's just like you said, it's just them the decisiveness of the final third and being clinical.
As I mentioned early on, that technique at the final point. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. But it's my thing is that with the attacking talent that you do currently have up front, I think going forward, if you are keeping clean sheets this season, I think the goals will come naturally. It's just about really, because you're in a situation where you need to build confidence. And by building confidence, you need a run of wins, obviously, or decent results. So once you get into things, who knows? Because it's still very early in the season. Things can turn around very quickly in the Premier League. We've seen it happen. Arteta can go from villain to, okay, perhaps he's turning things around and getting things right. But saying that, who was the man of the match for you during that game?
Ooh, that one's a tough one. So initially when off the first watch on the watch along, I said emphatically Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and I said that with my chest and all that, and that's what I thought. When I went back and watched the game, I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly think maybe Aubameyang has a shout. Pepe too might have a shout. Tierney. Tommy too looked good, but then Tommy was taken off after 60 minutes. If he had played a bit longer, I think it would have. Actually, you know what? I think it probably would have gone to Tommy if he had played longer. But it would probably have to be Aubameyang. It would probably have to be Aubameyang on the second watch. So my first one was Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but after the second watch, Aubameyang, I'll tell you why. He was very involved. He was very active. He was making the runs. He control was good. The chances that he had, there was the one that came off the ball from Odegaard. I think it was in the first half, off the ball from Odegaard that came over the top. He controlled it with one and he tried to dink him. Keeper saved. It wasn't a bad attempt. It was just more of a save from the keeper. He should have done better, but it wasn't atrocious. Then the other one where he hit it with his left foot, I think it was second half, he hit it with his left foot. He hit it straight at the keeper. That wasn't too bad of an attempt. He got the goal. His general pressing play was very good. He was pressing hard, especially too when he's pressing hard all game, running. He was making the forward movement. So having said that, I think I would have liked for him to have been more clinical and taken more of the chances that he got. But he was the one. Actually, let me put it this way: he was the one player that scored a 7 out of a team that played that played out of a team full of 6s, and that was good enough to get past an opposition with which lacks quality like Norwich. Will it be good enough to get past Burnley next week? I don't think so.
Yeah, that was going to actually be my next question. Burnley are actually looking for their first win in the Premier League. You will be playing them away. A bit more of a test than Norwich.
Yep.
But from what you saw from this Norwich game going forward, do you feel that you could go there and get 3 points?
If we play the exact same way that we played at Norwich against Burnley, we're losing.
Wow.
If we weren't good enough technically up front. So the remember the things that I touched on, the physicality of the squad was good.
Mm-hmm.
The mentality, the mental side, the mental side wasn't really tested because Norwich really, it was just that one chance, that one ball that went across and we turned into that Aubameyang chance from Tierney, from that part of Tierney. Then I believe there was another, if I'm not mistaken, there was 1 or 2 crosses that came in from Max Aarons that really weren't too much. So we weren't tested mentally. And then our technical side of the game just was not up to par. So the only thing that was okay was the effort levels that people were putting,
right?
So, and based off that, if we're not going to execute technically, if we're not going to keep it tight in the final third and take chances, we're not going to beat Burnley.
Would you like to see any changes up front that might remedy that situation?
Not really. So I think the technical aspect of it will come with games, with players playing more games, getting sharper, getting more confident and all. And as I said, so for example, if you take a look at Aubameyang, the way Aubameyang was missing the first couple games, so like the Brentfords and all that, and even in the preseason, the way he was missing in preseason and the first couple games as compared to the way he was missing or messing up his chances now, you can see that there's kind of an improvement. It's a bit better. It's not fucking hitting it into row Z. It's not hitting into this way. It's more, he just missed. If he had just gone a bit left, that would have gone in. If he had just gone a bit right, that would have gone in, type of stuff. So that side of the game, I think, will come. Major changes, I don't really think we need any. The only one I'll probably do is I don't know, probably get Partey involved, get Partey a bit more involved. Unfortunately, that means that maybe Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you run at center just after he had a very good game at central midfield. That might be it at central midfield kind of deal. Which I don't know how we're gonna handle. That's for Arteta to handle, who he'll pick. Would think, but I think Partey should be involved. Granit Xhaka apparently comes back from Switzerland. He's been let out of quarantine now, so he can come back from Switzerland. I don't think he should be involved immediately. There's 3 guys ahead of him that played well, but of course he's one of Arteta's favorites, so he's going to be lurking. So I don't know. I say don't change it too much. That squad that he put out, looked very good, but as I said, Partey needs to be more involved. Xhaka's back, and we'll see.
I was gonna ask you for a prediction, but we're not gonna give away too much. The people that are watching can wait until
Let's
the
talk
next
Chelsea.
episode of Troops is back again for Zar's prediction, obviously going forward. But yeah, as for Chelsea, I don't really have too much to say that I haven't said already, Zar. Remember, I told you 3-0, give me my clean sheet, on to the next. That's all I have to say.
Are you happy about the performance? Because that game, honestly, so I watched that game too, and I'll give you my opinion. That game could have gone anyway. That game, there were key moments. There were key moments at 1-0 that could have swayed that game.
It's especially the first half, bro. The first half was a bit squeaky bum time, and we relied on individual brilliance from Edouard Mendy.
And this was Edouard Mendy, man of the match, hands down.
Yeah, bad boy.
Lukaku got 2 goals. Yes, I get it, but this was Edouard Mendy's game.
I actually picked Kovacic for man of the match, but Mendy
played very well.
Far off. Thiago Silva had the game of his life as well because he saved us in that first half.
That block. Was it the block? Was it a second?
It was the first half where he put his arms behind his back. It was that. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you asked me if I was happy. I'm gonna say this, right? With the circumstances, all things considered, right? First, Tuchel acknowledged himself that maybe it was a bit of a mistake to throw in Saul because that's where a lot of the problems are coming from. Because you see, playing in a midfield pivot, both midfielders need to be on song. That's one of the most difficult positions to play in the Prem. You need a lot of discipline and understanding of your positioning and all that. Saul didn't have that. You could see that he was taking too much time on the ball. So for him, it was like, well, welcome to the Premier League sort of performance. Like he's gonna have now. We're starting to understand like what it takes to play in the Prem. But yeah, no, Aston Villa, they did get through. There was,
but you know why he started Saul though, right?
Kante wasn't fit,
and Jorginho had played like 180. Didn't he play like 200 minutes?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So he needed a break. But it just why I'm happy. It goes to show that we're winning without having to play our best football, and that's always a good sign. And the thing is, on top of that as well, right? Although we did on a couple of occasions, kind of on that right side, because listen, Hudson-Odoi is not a natural defender. We were getting caught there. Ollie Watkins was having a bit of joy down that side. See what I'm saying? But we still kept a clean sheet. And remember, we rotated heavily. I think it was 6 changes in that first team, right? So that's a massive positive for me. We're still keeping a clean sheet. The aim is to make Stamford Bridge a fortress, and the way you do that is you keep clean sheets and you just score goals. It's very simple. It's not hard, and we did that. We did that perfectly. Obviously, Kovacic for me absolutely stole the show. He stole the show because what made it even more special, you could see that in the first half, he was basically a one-man band on his own because Saul,
he bossed the game.
Exactly, because there was the gap between the defense and the midfield. You could see Villa were getting through. Kovacic couldn't really. You can't expect him to do everything on his own, but when he did get the ball, the way he showed his press resistance, his vision, he's just like he's dribbling all round. Everything that it was world class. But I'm happy with Chelsea. For me, they're far away favourites for me. A lot of people are gonna say, well, Liverpool, they're looking dangerous. I couldn't care less, honestly. It's like I said. Let them be as good as they want. Let City be as good as they want. Hell, if people consider Man United as challenges, let them be as good as they want to be. I have so much confidence that I'm just looking at Chelsea to get 3 points and letting the other teams worry about Chelsea. That's my stance on that. But ladies, gents, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We're actually 100 subscribers away from 2,000 subs. So it would really be appreciated.
Button, folks.
Yeah, it would be appreciated if you continue doing what you're doing by sharing, man, because whatever you're doing is working. So thumbs up again. Thank you to everybody. Zar, obviously, if you don't know where to find Zar, I don't know what rock you've been living under. Obviously, he's there on Back Again. If you want to follow him on his socials, they're going to be down there in the descriptions. And as always, please leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the comments, man. Like you see, I'm always responding to every single person. I don't ignore anybody. Doesn't matter how silly your comment is, you will get a response from me. But on that note, Zar, thank you very much for joining me here on Man Knows Football. Hopefully
you for
we'll see
having me.
you again. I'm gonna try and get Zara on the show a bit more. If you want to see Zara on the show a bit more, smash that like button. Put some
There we
pressure on the
go.
man to
There
come
we
on.
go.
Yeah,
Put
you know what I'm
gas.
saying.
put some heat on me. Put some heat on me to come on. Nah. No, trust me. I'm always happy to come on. It's always a good time when I come on here.
No, 100%, man. Zara, thank you very much, and to everybody watching, bless.